Hi Gerard. Last time when we were here with Rob, you were playing with him on the guitar, but sadly that's not possible anymore for a few weeks. What happened?
I injured my middle finger while rehearsing in Romania on a ballet. I was staging Nutcracker. We have a tour in December and January, and it seemed hot, 24 degrees. And the sweater I had was too hot. I took it out. While pulling my sweater, I ruptured a tendon in my middle finger. So it's splintered now for minimal 6 weeks, so that the tendon can grow back on the bone again, and hopefully that will work and I will be able to learn to use that finger for playing again. This is the finger with which I play the solos and the chords, so it is quite dramatic, but it's not new to me because 20 years ago when I was dancing with English National Ballet, I had a similar injury on my little left finger. I had to lift a dancer in Ronnie Hines' Sanguine Fan classical ballet, and all her weight was on my little finger, and the tendon got ruptured. I went to Leicester's Hospital on South Bank on the Thames immediately, and they did an operation. They cut the finger open, put the tendon on the bone, and then placed a metal pin inside the bone. 6 weeks later they pulled it out, and this little finger is straight, but I cannot bend it like here.
I see.
With as a result that I had to adapt my guitar playing. As you know, I was a ballet dancer. I danced a lot with several companies internationally, but in the spare time I continued playing guitar as a therapy, and I taught guitar to my colleagues. When the specialist, the surgeon in Leicester Hospital announced that they were going to operate me, I told them, please be very careful because I'm also a musician. Unfortunately, they they damaged a little bit of cartilage, with as a result that this finger is straight, which is very important for ballet, but I cannot bend it, and that meant that I had to change my technique. And since I was always amazed by the records that my father played of Django Reinhardt, the gypsy musician from the 30s, 40s, I learned that he only used 2, 3 fingers, and I adapted my technique. I started to listen what he was playing. At that time there was no YouTube, so I learned everything by record and by CD. And I play gypsy jazz guitar since that time. And I started collecting instruments as well. I have quite a collection of gypsy guitars, as you've seen here. Another time maybe you can show your audience a little bit about that.
We showed them already in the other video.
Okay, but here you selected a few guitars that you want me to talk about. Unfortunately, I'm not able to demonstrate how to play on them, but these guitars in my collection, there's something to say about. Starting with the guitar closest to you. That's a kamiki, it's called. That's a sub-mark from Amphion. Amphion is it's a brand that is very well sought after. It's very rare. It's made by a maker in Amsterdam called Willemse, and he built guitars during the war and just after the war. And they are full solid, so the wood is on the side, in the front and the back. It's beautiful sound wood, and they are marvelously made, and they're really, really rare. This is a kamiki. I've got some Amphions as well, and as you see, the design is very much inspired by Gibson archtops. Gibson was setting the style, the trend for jazz guitars since the turn of the century. And Willemse was one of the first Dutch people making very well crafted jazz guitars. And well, this is
it has a very nice sound also.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not well
I hear
set
it,
now. It needs to be adjusted. But it's a really lovely instrument to see. First of all, it's a beautiful design. The materials are really awesome, and if it's well adjusted, it's a wonderful instrument to play. And next to it, it's a guitar that's been adjusted. It's a remake. It's originally a guitar from Bulgaria. As you know, I'm specifically interested in gypsy guitars, but also in archtop jazz guitars. Mostly European instruments I find interesting. This is a guitar from Bulgaria. It's a full solid instrument from all sides, and it's created by a maker in Kazanlik in Bulgaria, who used to be a weapon maker, Soviet weapon maker. And I don't know, somehow he changed. All of a sudden he didn't want to make murdering machines anymore, but he decided to make musical instruments. And he built a company named Cremona with a K, and it's still a well-known guitar factory. Most guitars there are made by hand. These are, but the top is recreated. It's mahogany from Honduras. A friend of mine in Utrecht, a guitar builder, a luthier, Gary de Klerk, placed a totally new mahogany top on the guitar. It has 2 sound holes, which is also very unusual. It plays wonderful, but it sounds fabulous. It's a guitar which is for gypsy music very, very wonderful to play. play with. I have of this Cremona guitar, I have a few more, but the basic design is the same. The top wood sometimes is different. In this case, it's totally new mahogany top wood.
Yeah, it's a pity you can't play.
You have to wait 6 weeks at least.
Yeah, then you're so busy. So the next one.
The next guitar is a guitar made in South Korea, but from an American company. It's designed in America. It's a guitar also not very often found. It's a Boulder Creek guitar. And there's many unusual things about this guitar. It's wonderful sound wood and massive, solid sound wood, back and front. The sound hole is on the side. It's a beautiful paraloid binding, and the bracing is very unusual inside the instrument. It's a suspended aluminium bracing. This is a very it's a very beautiful sounding instrument and very pleasant to play. It's a relatively new design. I think it's about 10-15 years. So it's not such an old instrument compared to the other instruments. You know, we started with the kamiki, that's from the wartime, so it's the 40s. The Cremona is from the 60s, 70s. The Solitaire is from the 1890s. And this guitar is from the 50s, 60s. This is a Glasel. Gustav Glasel was a guitar builder and designer, and he made this kind of Art Deco type of instruments. It's distributed by Bauer Instruments from Bavaria, and German jazz guitars are a special interest for me because the quality of German instruments is absolutely phenomenal. And Germany, by the way, plays a very important role in the development of the popularization of top guitar instruments in the 20th century already, because for example Martin Guitars, it's a German company, there's a lot of German input because in Germany has a very long tradition of making string instruments since the 16th, 17th century. There's one particular part in Germany, previously Eastern Germany, Markneukirchen, near the Czech border, where incredible instruments are coming from, and I'm particularly collecting the instruments from that particular part of Germany. This is from Bavaria, by the way. This is not a Markneukirchen instrument, but it's from that golden guitar age German era.
It's not from the beer, the Dutch beer.
A Dutch beer? No,
Bavaria.
But look at the design. Very typical about German headstocks, for example. It's this black and white stripes, and they have very original designs, and they just play marvelously. They're very well crafted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a pity. It's improvising now. Because normally I could make a video of you taking the guitar. Tell me about it.
You have to wait at least 6 weeks. I hope my injury will be solved. But of course, playing is very important to me, so I hope I really can play again. But for now, all I can do is talk a little bit about these instruments. These are only 4, as you know. I've got an enormous collection.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, because in the previous video we show already a lot of them, but now it's still a little bit a mess. So when it's cleaned up and we can show more guitars, and because you're also composing songs yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can talk about that also next time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah?
That's good.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.